just take a deep breath. Yeah, settle down and, put your Zillow scrolling fingers down and just listen up. So I'm Gail DeMarco. I'm a local real estate agent here in St. Johns County. And today I really want to break down whether the sky is actually falling or if it's just a seagull with a commitment issue. Is the Florida housing market crashing? And what buyers need to know if you're considering and before moving here to St. Johns County, Florida. So where do I get these ideas for my YouTube channel? I don't run to ChatGPT and go, hey, what should I talk about today? Make me look important in front of my subscribers or people that are watching. No, I have real life experiences that either piss me off or make me think, or I wish, oh my God, I wish I would have known this. So today, if you're thinking about moving here to St. Johns County, Florida, and you've been binge watching the news headlines that scream, Florida market is crashing, just take a deep breath. Settle down and, put your Zillow scrolling fingers down and just listen up. And today, I really want to break down whether the sky is actually falling or if it's just a seagull with a commitment issue. And can I just say this real quick? I am so sick and tired of my bourbon sipping husband. He's a YouTube expert, by the way. And he's always sending me, like, I wake up, like this morning, I woke up to this YouTube video, and he's warning me, like, we're headed straight for a housing apocalypse. I'm like, I haven't even had my coffee yet. It's just like, he's like, did you watch that video? I'm like, hell no, I did not watch that video. I mean, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to start living upstairs because I cannot take it anymore. He's over there watching some guy with a, big old beard and a whiteboard talking about how the market collapses like it's the end of the world. Meanwhile, I'm the one selling homes. That'd be like me telling him about construction, and I understand a piece of a board in California for a fence is $4, but I don't really try to be the expert on it. And I'm not the expert in real estate. I'm the expert in following the data. Yeah, I always say math is the path. But meanwhile, while I'm selling homes, I'm like, hey, this keeps you in your lifestyle and you can keep buying that real expensive bourbon. So back to my topic, some areas in Florida are seeing price drops, okay? There are some areas in Florida here in Jacksonville, you couldn't get me to go in there because it is, just not desirable. It's not safe. But, we're seeing prices dropping, yes. And some people have overpaid, everywhere throughout the country. In 2021, 2022, during the whole COVID thing, people were overpaying $100,000, $50,000. It was like trying to get, Taylor Swift tickets or something. But, in St. Johns County, I just got to say, all markets are not created equal. We're just not the same here, and I'm not just saying that because I live here. I'm just saying that because I am clearly biased, but also data doesn't lie. Why does St. Johns County hold its value? Well, here's the deal. St. Johns County is consistently ranked in the top 3 school districts in all of Florida. So it is a major relocation area from people from South Florida, from California, from Oregon. Yesterday, I got to talk to a wonderful couple, Todd and Jody, and, they're thinking about coming here, and they're kind of worried about a lot of the things I'm discussing right now, So the deal is whenever you are thinking, well, why do I need to move into a great school district? Gail, I don't have kids. Well, I have 4 kids and 6 grandkids, right? So I don't have kids that live with me, thank God. Here's why I care about it. I care about it for resale value, right? Because that's why I did so great when I was in Folsom and El Dorado Hills in California, because we were the #1 school district. So we had everybody migrating up here from Silicon Valley, to the Sacramento area. But when it comes time to sell, you better believe that, the people that are buying your home do care about the schools, and great schools, because they're just in high demand. A lot of people I had a video right before this that talked about how we have a beautiful thing here where you get $7,000 per child if you don't want to go to the public school and you want to go to a private school. But, a great school district is always, always in high demand, no matter what the market's doing. It's kind of like going to a potluck. Like last night, somebody talked me into going to Bunko. I'm like, oh gosh, that's a bunch of that's a bunch of fun right there. And the most popular thing was the lady who bought the Chick-fil-A nuggets. I'm like, really? I went through all this trouble to make something that I thought people would. I actually brought home my whole tray of. I don't even want to tell you what it is. I'm embarrassed. So anyway, who is moving here? Let's talk about that. So we get people from all over the place. I mean, I've just moved family here from Connecticut. Now, Connecticut has a great school district, right? I just had a guy come in from my YouTube channel. Thank you, Tim. And he's actually still here. He's moving here from Ohio. So there's people from Texas. A lot of people during the COVID, during the COVID days, people would leave California like, rats on a sinking ship, and they were going to Idaho, then they're going to Texas, and then it was Tennessee. And now they're coming to Florida because we have these beautiful beaches and we have great weather 7 to 9 months out of the year. For instance, my hair was looking so good. Now the humidity is sinking in, where I really don't even open my windows at night, and I'm going to kind of look like I just played pickleball all day long. But that's okay because 7, 8 months of the year, I feel like I'm living in San Diego weather. But we're getting people from all over, people that are saying things like, we're done with traffic. We're done with paying, a $2 tax on a gallon of gasoline. Can you imagine I was spending $6 for premium gas in California, and here it's like less than $4. It's crazy. But you name it, they're like, give us some sunshine, give us some sanity. We love what's happening here, as far as politics and the government. And, I just want to say, welcome to St. Johns County, because, here's where people actually wave instead of flipping you off. You're trying to get in. It's just people are so kind and so polite. And it's like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Even when they're pissed off, it's like, ma'am. It's not like, huh. That was a huge thing for me to adjust to. I was not used to people that are polite. Now, of course, you got to take off your California license plates. Otherwise, they will throw eggs at you. Even New York, they're not real fond of those New Yorkers. I am a former New Yorker, but I'm very polite. But, let me just give you a list of a couple of things that people really, really like. They, besides the great schools, they're like beautiful communities. We have low crime rate, but, I love the coastal lifestyle. I actually just joined, a year ago, I joined the beach club at Ponte Vedra just because, I got an older mother, she's almost 90, loves to go to the beach. I don't want to drag all her stuff. I got 6 grandkids. So, I could be at the beach sitting there with my favorite cocktail, Tito's and club soda, with 3 limes, always 3 limes, in 40 minutes sitting there at the beach. And I don't have to worry about, all that comes with by living near the beach. When I say that, your air conditioner goes out in 7 years, your roof goes out in 10, all that fun stuff. But we're so close to the beach. When I lived in California, the closest beach was Lake Tahoe, and that was a lake, and I loved it. Or Half Moon Bay, and the water's freaking cold. Just like in Oregon, the water's so cold. I love being able to walk into a beautiful beach, pristine sand. You've seen some of my videos about the local beaches here. And yes, here's my favorite thing. Because I have my Medicare card, it really, really matters to me that I do not pay state income tax. And now our amazing governor is trying to get rid of our property tax. That would be a freaking dream for me. Like, yes, it would be so good. And I'll tell you what, if that happens, our housing market's going to go crazy. So, I just say you got to buy smart in this market, right? So if you're wondering, is this still a good time to buy? Here's what I tell all my clients. If you're buying in the right location, with the right strategy, you're golden. If you're trying to come in here and, make a quick killing, flip a few homes, those days are gone, long gone. buying in a place with infrastructure, strong schools, limited inventory, you will not be the one caught holding the bag when the market, the price is dipping. If you're buying here because you're buying long-term, like when I say long-term, it used to be, it used to be 10 years. Now long-term here is 5 years, right? It's not just about buying a home, it's really about buying into a community that retains its value. So when you come to Rivertown, Nocatee, Beach Walk, Beacon Lake, any of these stunning neighborhoods, super communities, non-super communities, you're not just buying real estate, you're really buying peace of mind. Most people that move here for relocation for jobs or families. Like, a lot of people move here because their kids live here, their grandchildren move here, they want community, but they also want to do their own stuff. Like I'm a grandmother, but I don't want to just hang out with my grandkids. I want to have walking trails. I have an e-bike. I love my e-bike. And if any of you haters are out there, you need to try one before you start saying stuff in my comments. But I just love the outdoor life. I've been a stand-up paddleboard teacher for over 12 years. So if you come out here, I can bring you to the intra-coastal places where you can see like sea turtles and dolphins, and it's just incredible. Or if you want to go on the river and meet some of my friendly alligators, we could do that too. I've done that. I do not lie down on my board like I normally do once I paddle about 5 or 7 miles. So don't lay down. Don't dangle those feet. But you're just buying a lifestyle. So, here's the other thing that nobody talks about enough. People do move here for the lifestyle, but they stay for the people. So whether you're an empty nester or, just working remotely from home, I have a couple of neighbors that work for Deutsche Bank or for Google, or just someone who likes the idea of kayaking or taking a walk or, a great bike ride in the morning. For me, I love going to the gym at 6:30 a.m. And so one time a day, I don't have to put makeup on and my hair can look like crap. I love it. But, if you go there at 2, you better have your makeup on. Even if you don't have kids, okay? You probably do want neighbors who care. You want people that mow their lawn, right? You want a safe neighborhood. In my neighborhood, we have like block parties. They put a flamingo in the driveway. When I first got here, I thought, oh my God, I am not a swinger. These are swingers here. It wasn't a swinger thing. But I live in High Point in Rivertown, and they put out these flamingos, and you just bring your bottle, bring a dish, and just show up. We do driveway parties, right? At the end of the school year, they do bouncy parties for the kids. We have karaoke parties. I'm actually the happy hour person. So once a month, I have my neighbors all over for happy hour. I hire a bartender, and we just sit out by the pool, and we just chat and catch up because life goes by really, really quick. So we don't have a bedroom neighborhood here where people just roll up to their garage door and shut the garage door and go in. People actually are friendly and talk, and that's one of the best things about living. If you don't want to talk, you don't talk. And if you want to engage, you can engage. When you surround yourself with like-minded, family-focused people, your investment becomes more than financial. It's just the quality of life, 100%. That it's so funny because a lot of my I've actually just sold 2 homes to California realtors that have moved here that may come and work with me because they're just like blown away. They're like, I can't believe you get all of this for this. And really what they're looking for is a change of pace, right? A change of lifestyle. So here's my final thoughts. So if you are sitting there worried, buying a home is some like risky game, like musical chairs, and the music's going to stop and you're going to get screwed over, don't just buy Florida. Buy smart. Buy St. Johns County. And if you're ready for a realtor who's not going to just throw listings at you and say, hey, we're going to go see these 3 neighborhoods, then you're going to write an offer. Are you ready to write an offer? That'll never come out of my mouth. I'm going to show you as many neighborhoods as you need to see until you get that gut feeling. I actually don't even want to tell you this, but I have one buyer that I've been working with for over a year and a half, and they are finally writing an offer because it's not when it's a good time for me, it's when it's a good time for you. So if you get a gut feeling that, oh my gosh, this is the place I see myself living for the next chapter, whatever that chapter may be, then it's the right time to buy. And I'm not that person that's just going to ever pressure you. Maybe Florida's not for you, right? Maybe you come here and you don't like anything about it, or you're just not sold yet, right? That's okay. You're not wasting my time. As a matter of fact, it's a valuable use of my time, because I learn a lot when I'm working with buyers and I'm showing them areas. I will always tell you the good, bad, and the ugly. Like, if you don't want to hear it, go hire a Redfin agent. Oh, never mind. Redfin's out of business now. I just found that out. But honestly, that's all I want to be, is truthful, transparent, and make sure you make the right decision, because I'd probably be divorced right now if we would have made the wrong decision here, because I actually bought this house without my husband, because he did not want to move to community, because we are kind of redneck and we lived on property and we got John Deere bulldozers and, horses and llamas. And he was like, no way am I ever living in a community. So I did buy this house without him, because I'm the money girl. And I just knew it was going to be good. And he loves it. So he has bought in. And when I say that, not financially, but emotionally, right? I mean, half the time I can't find him because he's at a neighbor's house. He's helping them. He's doing something. He's at the river club having a drink, on a Friday night, a Thursday night, a Tuesday night. A lot. If you think that maybe we're a good fit and you'd like to learn more about living in St. Johns County, go ahead and just text me. 904-640-8000. 904-640-8000. And let's schedule a Zoom call. Let's get to know each other. Let's get your family, yourself out here and tour a couple of neighborhoods, homes, and find out what you really like and make a decision, right? Hopefully I can be that one to help you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.